What is up, you guys? It's your boy Rob Hollow Avarice back again with some gaming goodness. We are gonna get started, do some gaming for a little bit, but first things first, I wanted to check out. Just dropped earlier today a particular image for Genshin Impact, and I wanted to check this out. Let me hop off here. Genshin in the background. The image, the background image for Genshin Impact Luna 7, which will be 6.6 patch, right? Yeah. Patch 6.6 is going live in a week, a little over a week. Or the live stream's in a little over a week, I think. I think the live stream might be later this week. We could check that out. There we go. I'll play that in the background. Here we go. So, oh, 2 days. The live stream is in 2 days. This dropped. Special program announcement for Luna 6. And holy crap. I saw a couple people posted reactions to it, and I'm like, I gotta talk about this. Because, holy crap. This looks insane. So one, I think the obvious thing, Dottore is back. Hey Solar, how are you? We knew the Doctor wasn't dead, right? The glitching at the end of the screen, at the end of the main Not-Cry quest line. Yeah, I'm just doing some Genshin chat, and then I'm gonna do some gaming in a little bit. But oh, this is awesome. So special programs in 2 days. I need to see this trailer. Because not only are we getting the Doctor back, again, we never knew he was dead, or never thought he was dead. But it's the return of the Wanderer, so I think we're actually going to get to see the Wanderer confront the Doctor. But Nahida and Kale are here. That's very interesting, for one reason, and I'm pretty sure everyone's talked about this by now. I haven't watched any other people reacting to this. Winter Nights Lotso, obviously, this came out 3 years ago. This came out 3 years ago, just before Sumeru. So this is before Nodcry, before Natlan, before Sumeru. Before Fontaine, actually. Oh my god. That's how long this has been. This was immediately after the death of Signora in Inazuma. Obviously, the Fatui funeral for Signora.
Are wise to the virtue in
Our first time seeing all of the Harbingers, right? This is our first time seeing Piero.
in this war.
The chessboard. Our first time seeing Puccinella. Our first time seeing the game version of the Doctor. Obviously, he'd been in the manga. Our first time seeing Columbina, and we now have a much greater bond with this... the Trilune goddess here, who just seemed so unbalanced and unhinged back then. The Capitano, Marionette, and Polonia.
Our dear comrade.
People say the Northland Bank's true
Alright, Pantalone, Regrator.
currency is our blood and tears. But Mayor, even speaking as a bank,
Our first time seeing Arlecchino.
We don't want to make
place for a fight.
Child, Capitano,
Handed.
the Doctor,
After conquering the
right?
majesty that's
So, we now have... I remember people theorizing that these guys looked more normal than all of these guys. So these four were going to be playable, and these four were not. But we now have two of these playable, one of these supposedly dead, Columbina over here is playable, and it looks like Sandrone is going to make a return and be playable in 6.7. Here's hoping, because I really love Sandrone. So all that theory is gone.
Majesty that Tsaritsa left from the
We're going to be heading to Zapolyarny Palace in 2 patches. I'm so excited for that in Snezhnograd.
such is Her Majesty's benevolence.
And we thought that was it. But then, one little additional teaser. This was 3 years ago.
Say, you're looking very young today, Doctor.
You know very well that I do not take that as a compliment.
So, where's the segment in the prime of his life, then?
He's busy with a little experiment in blasphemy.
The Doctor... So this was when we first heard about his segments. The idea that the Doctor split himself up into multiple pieces. Many of them were supposedly destroyed after his pact with Nahida. But this is him burning the Irminsul tree. Burning the memory of the world. An experiment in blasphemy. And we haven't really had anything major in Sumeru since then. The last time we dealt with Irminsul was immediately after Sumeru, during the Archon interlude involving the Wanderer, where we rewrote part of the Irminsul tree to remove the world's memory of the Wanderer, and make him just Hat Guy, right? A mysterious, kind of jerky stranger. And we're the only ones who remember who he once was. Aside from him. He hates the Doctor with more than anyone. We have Nicole here, obviously. She's going to be in the next patch, so I expect her to be there. But Nahida being here with the Wanderer leads me to believe that this is when we're getting the Doctor coming back to burn Irminsul. Another thing to justify that, this new look here. We've never seen what looks like Mecha Dottore, right? Dottore with all this blue tech in him. Let's look at the Irminsul tree in Genshin. During the Wanderer's quest, it has this blue techy appearance, right? It has that blue, almost tech ley line kind of vibe and appearance that looks a lot like what the Doctor's got going on. Blue glowing energy tech. And then there's one other big thing that I think kind of means this is the burning of Irminsul, and I'm going to go right back to this video. The experiment in blasphemy.
A little experiment in blasphemy.
Because one character saw this coming.
Colin, time to head out on patrol.
Okay, Master Tainari. What was that?
Kale had a dream about the Doctor burning Irminsul. This was at a very specific point in Sumeru, when all the people of Sumeru lost the ability to dream because of the Akasha. Because of the Akasha Terminal and Lesser Lord Kusanali, Nahida being trapped in the birdcage in the Temple of Surastana. God, I know way too much about Genshin. I don't know how taxes work. Neither here nor there. So, Kale somehow knew or had some feeling. And again, this is not just a throwaway thing. This was part of one of their biggest reveals, and honestly, I think one of Genshin's most successful videos of all time on YouTube. I still hear people talk about the Winter Nights Lotso to this day. Mostly in the context of people are wondering when we're going to have the experiment in blasphemy, and all the introduction of all of the Harbingers. But Kale foresaw this, or is somehow tied in. Kale's there too. Kale's a 4-star. She's not a massively important lore character, but she's right there. With a Witch of the Hexenzirkel, a former harbinger with a incredible personal history with the Doctor, the Archon god of that region, who is also the avatar of Irminsul. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, the original Dendro Archon, was the avatar of Irminsul. Before she was even the Dendro Archon, before she sat upon the Dendro throne and became Archon, her only position was the avatar of the Irminsul tree. She was one of the 3 gods who ruled Sumeru, with the goddess of flowers, the son of the sky, King Deshret, and her, avatar of the Irminsul tree, created the rainforest, and then became the Dendro goddess after that. So he is here, and I truly believe we're going back to Sumeru. Because look at these rolling green hills. These scream Sumeru. These don't scream Nodcry. So I think a big portion of this Archon quest is going to be in Sumeru. And I think Kale is going to play a big part. Because don't forget Kale's backstory too. Kale was experimented on. She had God residue, or was it Archon residue? I'm trying to remember. It was the black serpent, right? Kale experiment. Before she had Eleazar, she was a victim of Fatui human experimentation. And let's be real, I don't believe it was ever specified who did it. But when you hear experimentation and Fatui, there's kind of one name who ties in. That's right. The person who saved her worked for the Doctor. That was it. By injecting her with Archon residue. I know the geography, like, or I know the specific grass color, like the people who, call me the Rainbolt of Genshin Impact, who knows the specific things in GeoGuessr. I mean, the cliffs here are reminiscent of Nodcry. I will be real. The floating stones are very Nodcry, but the grass and the trees look very Sumeru. So that's obviously the Doctor in this blinged out form. I'm so curious what this form is going to be. Is he maybe going to try and take part of Irminsul to himself? Because he no longer has access to the 3 moons, right? Because the 3 moons are now powering Columbina. The remnants of one are with and then the remnants of one is with Arlecchino. And I find it very interesting that no Nodcry characters, no characters who are instrumental to the Nodcry questline, are in this image. We had some Nicole, she protected Nasha Town. We had some Wanderer, he saved the Traveler from the Doctor's alternate dimension bubbles. But he was not part of the final battle in the same way that any other characters were. There's no Columbina, there's no Varka, there's no Nefer, no Lauma, no Sandrone. So I find this incredibly fascinating, this image with that side. There's one other thing. This person right here. There. Wearing the red cloak. Obviously on the back right here is the symbol of the Fatui. Right? We are not getting anything. We have a chin and just something coming down in front of the chin. I look at that, and my immediate thought, again, I'm going to stick with this, and I flagged a specific time, goes to, my immediate thought is, could it be the glasses chain of Pantalone, the Regrator?
Northland Bank's true currencies are blood and tears.
I think that could be interesting. Because it could be that, right? His glasses chain hanging right here. That could be nothing, but that's what my immediate thought process is there. I don't know who else it could be. Could this be the return of Sandrone? Maybe. Could it be the return of, like, Signora? I doubt it, but that would be dope. But I love how creepy the Doctor looks. His skin has been dyed black. I'm wondering if we're going to get more of his... Like, is this going to be the end of the Doctor? Right? Last thing. All of the Welkin Moon, it's literally called the Song of the Welkin Moon, right? All of these patches, we call it 6.6, 6.7. We call it Luna 7. We call it the Luna. It's called the Song of the Welkin Moon, and many of the pieces have had musical terms attached to them. Andante, at walking pace, at a slow, steady tempo. A gradual tempo, something slow, building up. Hey, Juniper, how you doing? Hello, what's up? Alright, my last... So I think this is Pantalone the Regrader. I think this is going to be our first in-game view of him. I think we're going to get the return of the Doctor. He's going to destroy and merge with Irminsul, not to gain power, because he no longer has power. The power that he wanted was the Trilune Goddess, and he's lost that power because of Columbina and Sandrone. I think this is his new desperate attempt to take over the world by absorbing the memory of the world and absorbing Irminsul. I'm not on there often. I think we are going to be getting Nahida, Wanderer, Kale fighting for Irminsul. And I think Nicole's going to do it because the first time we heard Irminsul, Nicole's voice was with Irminsul. Right? Genshin, first time hearing Nicole was, I believe, during the World Quest with the Wanderer. The inversion of Genesis. Here you go. Voice only. Players heard Nicole's voice during the inversion of Genesis. All right. So let's see. Nicole. Ah. Do we have her voice here? Oh, you know what? Here. The Balladeer erased his existence. He changed the world. So why is the vase still broken? Because it only altered.
Lost and confused. I know why you are troubled. Any who knew of this would find their mind overwhelmed.
Huh? Is there someone here talking to us?
Unfortunately, the fate of Tevat cannot easily be changed. Perhaps a god may have a slim chance.
So this is important.
But for anyone else, who can say? When a small animal runs into a tree trunk, Though the tree may sway, it is not displaced. The same is true of fate.
So it ties in what you just said. When he absorbs the world's memory, when he absorbs the tree, he can rewrite history, but he can't change anything. That happened with the Wanderer. The Wanderer rewrote his own fate and removed himself from the world, so the world couldn't remember him. And he was hoping that would mean the people he accidentally got killed, like at the Tatarasuna incident, survived, or something akin to that. No, it didn't change anything. It just changed what everyone remembered happened. All those events still happened, but different people got blamed, or different stories took place. So instead of the Wanderer being at the heart of an artificial god, the Shoku no Kami, at the end of the Sumeru story, it was instead everyone remembers, oh yeah, the sages built a giant fake god, and that's all it was. There was no humanoid at its core. So if the Doctor can rewrite history, he won't be able to change fate and change what happened, but he'll be able to change what people remember.
Like a vase that falls to the ground. Whether it is broken by a cat or by a bird, the result is still a broken vase, is it not?
Nothing changes. Our story may change, the memory might change, but nothing truly changes.
History does not change easily, but human hearts can. Believe your own eyes. Only that which you see is true. What is unseen is but an illusion.
History does not change. What we remember can change, but the history itself, the history of this world in Genshin, cannot truly change. So I think that's incredibly interesting. And I think that ties in with... That's the reason Nicole's here. I think that's incredibly fascinating because that chapter featured Nahida and the Wanderer, and it was the first reveal of Nicole, and showed us Irminsul for the first time from the inside, the blue techno vibes, which are what's going on here. I think it's huge. So it's not time manipulation, knowledge manipulation, exactly. It's memory manipulation. Because they say Irminsul holds the memories of that world. I think it's very fascinating what this could mean, right? There's a lot of possibilities. We have possibly the Regrator, possibly the burning of Irminsul. This could tie in with Kale's backstory, because if we're getting Kale and the Doctor, we could explore the Archon residue put into Kale and her backstory about how she was experimented on as a diseased child and became a burning monstrosity who tore through Mondstadt, which was only in the manga. We could finally see a proper confrontation between the Wanderer and the Doctor, and if the Doctor has access to Irminsul, maybe he'll remember the Wanderer. That could be interesting. The big question is, I thought this was going to be the end of the Doctor, right? I think we all kind of thought for a while, at least, and maybe the Doctor would return down the line. If this is it, so I thought the Doctor might be one of the endgame villains. If we're fighting him again, this might be the true and proper death of the Doctor, which I think would be really cool. You know? I think that'd be fascinating. I think that would be very, very, very interesting. And I love that I always completely forget. When I think about Nicole, I think of our first true interaction with her being the teacup in the Fontaine quest line, talking about fate. But no, she was the voice in Sumeru in the inversion of Genesis, which dealt with I also love it. And then there's one other big thing. The reason I think this is in Sumeru and not Nodcry, I don't believe Nahida and Kale are coming to Nodcry to deal with the Doctor. I believe we are going back to Sumeru to finish this. for one reason and one reason alone. The name of this patch. The name of this patch is Truth Amongst the Pages of Piranha. That's something we've heard years ago, and I'm gonna pull up one more video. Genshin. One of the oldest Genshin trailers, 5 years old.
We had no time to say goodbye, so let's not call it that.
The Genshin storyline preview, which came out when? September 2020. So this was
The war has already begun.
when the game came out, pretty
It's
much.
just a continuation of past battles.
Right? We're hearing Yuri
The
Lowenthal
gods
as
goad us
Dainsleif.
all with the promise of their 7 treasures, rewards for the worthy, the doorway to divinity.
This, and again, this has changed a lot of context too. The Sea of Intivats, which is this flower,
Yet buried in the
which
depths
should
of
not
this
exist in this
lies
world.
Smoldering remains, a warning to those that dare trespass.
and yet the travelers are in the
That
Sea of
throne in the
Intivats.
sky is not reserved for you.
The throne in the sky,
Your
Celestia.
interrogation never stops.
Skipping ahead.
See for yourself.
Mondstadt, the Outlander who caught the wind. That was the name of the entire prologue. We did it.
Dragon who defended Mondstadt for a millennium finally faces his perturbation.
We did all of that, right?
What does freedom really mean when demanded of you by a god?
But we really know Venti doesn't demand.
The god of contracts, senselessly slaughtered as his
Farewell,
people
Archaic
watched
Lord
on
was the name of that entire quest
in
line.
horror. In the end, he will sign the contract to end all contracts.
We still don't know what the contract to end all contracts is, and I believe we're going to find out when we go to Snezhnaya in the next few patches. Because the contract to end all contracts was signed with an agent of the Tsaritsa. Or it might take place when we finally go to Celestia and find out why he is called Heaven's Star. I truly believe Zhongli was the one who dropped the nails and is an angel, but that's neither here nor there.
In the secluded land of the immortal
Omnipresence over mortals.
Shogun,
We got that.
the Bakufu rules eternal. By their god.
Here we go.
The god of wisdom's enemy is
What is the name of the Sumeru chapter? It's not that. What was the name of the Sumeru arc? The quest of Sumeru. I don't remember the official name of the Archon quest. Right? The Outlander who caught the wind. Farewell, Archaic Lord. Omnipresence over mortals. Oh, it was that, but it was never titled a quest. All of the quests were titled something different. So Outlander who caught the wind and Farewell, Archaic Lord, and I think Omnipresence over mortals were all names of the acts. So Act 2 of Leeway was called Farewell, Archaic Lord, and the entire Leeway chapter was Farewell, Archaic Lord. Act 3 of Inazuma, Omnipresence over mortals, the entire chapter, Omnipresence over mortals. All of Act 3, Truth Among the Pages of Piranha, but not a single act was named that. Right? We had Through Mists of Smoke and Forest Dark, The Morn a Thousand Roses Bring, which was getting to Sumeru, and then in Act 2 was the Have Fun at the Festival, the time loop. Dreams, Emptiness, and Deception was going to the desert. King Deshret and the Three Magi was bringing peace to the desert, getting the Eremites on our side to wage war against the sages. And then Act 5, Akasha Pulse and Kapla Flame was defeating the Wanderer as in his god form and freeing Nahida. And then Carrie Bear and the Inversion of Genesis were the additional parts of that. Right? Fontaine, Masquerade of the Guilty was the name of the chapter, and it was also the name of Act 5. Natlan, Incandescent Ode of Resurrection, chapter and Act 5. So, all the things we've done so far have had an act named after them, with the exception of Sumeru, Truth Amongst the Pages of Purana. But it's now the name of this. This is the end of not only the Nodcry story, but this is also the end of the Sumeru storyline. I'm really intrigued by what this means. Friday, we are getting a live stream of this. I'm very excited. What does it mean, man? I'm gonna quickly do my dailies in Genshin.
Take this. Receive the blessing of the new moon.
Alright. Oh, it's just a side quest. Alright. Doing my dailies have never been easier because they only take a couple seconds.
Ad Astra. Thank you for
Oh, everyone level 7 at once. I have everyone lined up. That's the best way to do it. Look at that friendship. All their friendships are nearly identical. Alright. This is gonna be interesting, tying them both together. Yeah, so they're tying... I guess the end of Nodcry would be the next patch, right? Luna 8, which would be 6.7. Because we know we're not getting a patch for that. My big question mark is what's up with Sandrone. Right? What's going on with Sandrone? There's gotta be more going on with her. And I truly believe she's coming back in the final patch to become a playable character. But we have a lot going on. So live stream in 2 days. And next patch is in a week and a half. I think. Do I have the official date for it somewhere? Right here. The next patch is on the 19th. Okay. So literally 2 weeks from today, it will have been out for a full day. Okay. Oh yeah. A week from yesterday. 2 weeks from yesterday, sorry.